In a quiet coastal town, where the sea breeze usually brought calmness, lived a 26-year-old young woman named Zara. From the outside, her life seemed normal. She had a decent job, supportive parents, and a comfortable home. But inside her mind, things were very different. Her thoughts never stopped. From the moment she woke up, worries began filling her head. She thought about mistakes she made years ago. She replayed conversations again and again, wondering what she should have said differently. At night, instead of resting, her mind traveled into the future, imagining failures, problems, and fears that hadn't even happened. Because of this constant mental noise, Zara felt exhausted. Even when sitting by the beautiful sea, she couldn't enjoy the view. Her body was present, but her mind was always somewhere else. Friends noticed she rarely smiled now. Sleep became difficult. Small problems started feeling very big. One evening, after another sleepless night, Zara sat by the shore watching the waves. An elderly fisherman sitting nearby noticed her worried face. After a few minutes, he spoke gently. "You are looking at the ocean, but you are not really seeing it." Zara was surprised. She nodded quietly. The fisherman told her about someone living farther along the coast, a retired professor who had spent years studying human behavior and emotional well-being. People said he helped many individuals understand their restless minds. That night, Zara made a decision. She would go meet him. Maybe, just maybe, he could help her understand why peace always seemed out of reach. A few days later, Zara began her journey along the coastline. The path was long and sometimes lonely. She walked past fishing villages, rocky beaches, and quiet forests. During the journey, something interesting happened. Without her phone constantly distracting her, she started noticing small details: the sound of waves hitting rocks, birds flying low over the water, the warmth of sunlight on her face. Yet her thoughts still interrupted these moments frequently. What if this doesn't work? What if I never find peace? After 2 days, she reached a simple wooden cottage surrounded by wildflowers. The place felt calm immediately. Outside, sitting on a bench, was the elderly professor. His posture was relaxed, his breathing slow, his expression peaceful. Zara approached respectfully. "Sir, my mind feels crowded all the time," she said honestly. "I cannot stop thinking. I want calmness. I want clarity. Can you guide me?" He listened carefully without interrupting. Then he smiled slightly. "I cannot give you peace," he said, "but I can help you discover where it already exists." Zara didn't fully understand, but she felt hopeful. Instead of giving long advice, he gave her a simple instruction. "Tomorrow morning, come back here before sunrise. Bring nothing except your attention." That was all. No lecture, no explanation, just a task. Before dawn the next day, Zara returned. The sky was still dark, and the air was cool. The professor handed her a small lantern with a gentle flame inside. "Walk along the beach until the old lighthouse," he said, "then return. Protect this flame from wind. Focus only on keeping it steady." The path wasn't easy. Sea breeze was strong. Sand shifted under her feet. Occasionally, waves came close enough to splash water. Zara walked slowly, carefully shielding the lantern with her hands. Her entire attention stayed on that small flame. She didn't check her phone. She didn't replay past regrets. She didn't imagine future fears. For the first time in months, her thoughts became quiet. Just walking, just breathing, just protecting the light. Time seemed different, slower, calmer. When she reached the lighthouse, the sky was beginning to brighten. She turned back, still focused. Finally, she returned to the cottage. The professor asked gently, "During your walk, did you notice the sunrise colors? Did you hear the waves clearly? Did you see the dolphins near the shore?" Zara blinked in surprise. "No, I was only focused on the lantern." He nodded. "And how did your mind feel?" She paused, realizing something important. Quiet, very quiet. The professor invited her to sit. "What happened today," he explained softly, "was not magic. It was attention. When your attention becomes steady, unnecessary thoughts lose their power. Most mental stress comes from jumping between past regrets and future worries. Very rarely do we stay fully in the present." Zara listened deeply. He continued, "The flame was not the real lesson. It was simply a tool. When you focused on it, your mind stopped wandering, and in that stillness, peace naturally appeared." He didn't suggest escaping responsibilities or avoiding planning. Instead, he explained balance. Think about the future when planning is needed. Learn from the past when lessons are useful, but don't live there continuously. Zara realized she had been mentally living everywhere except the present moment. They spent the rest of the day practicing simple awareness, listening to waves without distraction, eating slowly without multitasking, walking while noticing each step. Nothing complicated, yet incredibly powerful. For the first time, Zara understood, peace is not something to chase, it is something to allow, and it begins with awareness. A week later, Zara prepared to return home. She wasn't a completely different person overnight. Life still had challenges waiting. Work deadlines, family expectations, daily responsibilities, none of those disappeared. But something inside her had changed. Now she knew how to pause, how to breathe before reacting, how to notice when her thoughts started racing and gently bring attention back to the present. Back home, friends noticed the difference. She listened more carefully. She smiled more naturally. Sleep improved. Even stressful situations felt manageable. She didn't try to control every thought anymore. Instead, she observed them without panic. Sometimes she would simply sit quietly for a few minutes, focusing on her breathing or surroundings. These small moments created big changes. Months later, Zara revisited the coastal cottage to thank the professor, but he had moved away. No note, no forwarding address. At first, she felt disappointed. Then she smiled. His lesson was never about him. It was about discovering her own inner stillness. Standing by the sea again, she realized something beautiful. The waves were the same. The wind was the same. Life was the same. But her experience was completely different. Because now she knew where peace lives, not in a distant place, not in perfect conditions, not in someone else's guidance. Peace lives inside awareness, inside this moment. And whenever life becomes overwhelming, she remembers the lantern, the small flame she once protected so carefully. Now she protects something even more valuable, her attention. Because where attention goes, calmness follows. And where calmness exists, clarity, happiness, and strength naturally grow.